And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and some of our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake, and I've been busy lately, because today we're talking about Psychonauts 2. This one is a long time coming. The original Psychonauts released in 2005, and it had a cult following. Psychonauts 2 was announced as a crowdfunding project in 2015, and has morphed and changed a lot since then, along with it having a smaller VR game releasing that bridges the gap between the two games. But it's a long time coming, and fans have been wanting a return to this world for a while. And I'm happy to say that Psychonauts 2 is pretty much exactly what fans have been waiting for. We were sent an early copy of the game and have been playing it for about a week, and it's a solid, good old-fashioned video game fun time. Weird quirks and all. The mad lads actually went and did it. Psychonauts 2 is just straight up a follow-up to the 2005 game. Not just in story, but in feel. Like, there's no BS here. It's just an action-adventure platforming superpowered game that retains that vibe, humor, and gameplay loop of the original. And just so you know, before we move forward, this gameplay footage here I captured on an Xbox Series X, and it's spoiler-free. I'm cherry-picking from earlier sequences in the game here and there, because I think the biggest surprises and the most fun of this game are the weird and strange places you constantly end up. So the bigger question most people probably have, do I need to play the original Psychonauts or the VR game to understand what's going on? Well, the game starts out with a really good quick primer to get you up to speed on what's going on. It does a really good job, but I gotta say, I made sure to at least do some of my homework on this one, and just a few weeks ago, before this came out, I replayed the original, and it really did help me out here. If you're familiar with the original, it just really helps, because this game just takes place right after the original and the VR game, and it's just so strange and out there that this helps to just, know what you're getting yourself into. That's my personal recommendation, but just know that it's not a necessity. The catch-up video at the start will still do a decent job. So this time around, you're once again the cute kid Raz, who is a psychic, and now he's fully on board with the Psychonauts, a secret agency of elite psychics who use their powers to save the world by doing crazy stuff and jumping into people's brains. Raz was originally in training camp in the first game. Now he's granted the rank of intern, so it's still pretty much him learning the ropes of this weird world, but it's nicely structured around him doing cool, over-the-top, stylish missions for the Psychonauts crew, starting off with just a really, really incredible opening level. It's just top-tier video game goodness. This time around, there's the Psychonauts crew and some new faces with them, and a lot more of Raz's circus family is featured, and it's great. Plus, there's a new group of kid students that you work with. The humor all works pretty well here. It gave me quite a few little chuckles, and it's all pretty lighthearted, until some of it gets a bit deeper and cerebral, and there are some pretty interesting themes that are worked out here. The game just does a good job of giving you a reason to keep playing, story-wise, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of story, tons and tons of cutscenes, really great voice actors doing their thing, top tier, and memorable moments all around. Psychonauts plays like a game you would expect from the early 2000s, but I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. It doesn't feel too old or too broken. It's just not insanely over the top. You got a bunch of powers at your disposal, like a psychic melee attack, telekinesis that allows you to grab stuff and throw it, a mental connection that allows you to pull enemies towards you, you have levitation, and a bunch of other ones that pop up along the way. These are used in combat, but also in the worlds for puzzles and other more clever situations. A few times, I actually got stuck and had to think my way out of things, and in one case, it wasn't clear at all, and it was just kind of frustrating, but 9 times out of 10, all these powers work really well, both in combat and in other scenarios. You're going to be pretty frequently swapping your mapping of the powers. I wish there was a way to get around that, but it's all pretty fine and accessible. Combining all this stuff with the running, the jumping, the gliding, bouncing, and fighting, it's just a blast to adventure through these levels. And there is a lot of collecting. You collect mental projections and other things in the environment, all pretty much to upgrade Raz, either from his health or to rank him up. There's so much collecting that I think it kills the pace a bit sometimes. It can be a little tedious. That's personal taste though, some people just kind of run past collectibles and stuff like that, but 3 hours into the game or so, I was already over it. On the flip side, it is at least satisfying to go back to your hub or just do whatever and cash in these things and level yourself up. You level up to get intern credits. Then you spend these points on upgrading your psychic abilities, like stronger melee, a larger radius for pyrokinesis, a mental connection pull does more damage, stuff like that. Then you're also buying consumable items like health, or items that help you rank up even more, or pins that will give you little passive bonuses. There's a lot to it all, and it's all kind of over-explained and managed in a big cluttered journal, and it's kind of funny because it seems like it's a lot, but it all really boils down to, again, like I said, just making Raz more effective and stronger. It's super simple once you cut through it all. In between missions and parts of your adventure, you're able to roam around hub areas like Psychonauts HQ and mess around with characters, explore and find stuff, learn more about the world, and even some little side objectives and stuff. You're also able to jump back and revisit other levels and use your newfound abilities to get access to more stuff, which is always appreciated for the completionists. But the real meat is that adventuring. The game throws some really, and I might sound like I'm gushing, but some pretty amazing sequences at you, as well as just some really over-the-top boss battles and just big moments. It's all pretty consistently well-paced, and the game worlds they set up here are varied, and you're always going to be excited to see what the next weird thing is. Part of this is thanks to the game also just looking really damn good. The characters are sharp and high quality with a bunch of textures, and the weird color palette does great things for the levels. I did notice quite a bit of texture pop in though, like the game shifting between scenes or camera angles and cutscenes. Things just couldn't quite keep up. Despite that, it played really smoothly, and otherwise it does look damn good. Like a fully realized version of the original game, but without any limits thanks to the evolution of game graphics and stuff. That weird, quirky art style is more present than ever, and now it's allowed to just, thrive. Plus, the music is just great all around. Not a lot to say about it other than it makes everything better, from the low-key tunes during down moments to the big cinematic stuff during a cool chase or a big boss battle. The music just makes the trip that much better. And it is a hell of a trip. That isn't all just goofy. It's got a lot of charm to it, and some real good character moments and sweetness, along with the weird darkness. I genuinely think fans of the original will be really happy here, and I think newcomers will find a lot to love. It's not like a state-of-the-art, high-end new platformer. It's not a dated rehash of the original. It just falls into this perfect medium where it's satisfying to play and a bit nostalgic. But I think this is going to be a memorable one for folks. But Psychonauts is really simple. It's fun, man. If you like these types of games, you're probably going to dig it. This is a before you buy. You know how this works by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. And now I want to hear yours down in the comments. What did you think of the original game? Did you play the VR thing that kind of bridged the gaps between these two games, Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin? We'd love to hear what you think of that. Who's your favorite Psychonauts character? Are you really looking forward to jumping back in once again? Let's talk anything Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2 down in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this video, maybe we helped inform you or anything like that, definitely all you got to do is click the like button. We would really appreciate that. And if you're new, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day, dude. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
I put the box in the basket, in the basket of the ocean. No, that's not it. I put the egg in the box, and the... No. I put the old egg in the box, and the basket, and the egg... No.